Might have my. I haven't heard anything.
Managed to get in. I actually did not plan to be part of this meeting this evening, so I don't know. Are you running the meeting, or I did see the notice for the meeting, but I didn't have. I don't have a itinerary for the meeting set up for myself this evening to take part. You're muted, Jane.
We're going to hear from Janice, who's self-representing. She had a really cool experience in court. Just a second, I'm going to turn off my air conditioner.
Okay, so
and also James Bauder, and then we're going to do just some quick updates. Won't be a long Zoom.
Okay.
But just to like we have some update on the injunction, and
if you unmute, you may be deleted before you even get a chance to say a word. Now, if you want to say something, if you have a question, you make sure you put your hand up before you ask the question, because if you unmute without putting your hand up, you may be removed before you have a chance to say anything. And it's not intentional, but we are being hammered right now by a troll. We do have persons of interest who may be that troll, and we do have the police looking into those people. Having said that, it's a zero tolerance. We're not here to tolerate any of these trolls. And so again, if you want to speak, we ask that you please, Elizabeth, can I get you to mute yourself, please? So if you do unmute, make sure you put your hand up first. Let us know that you actually have a question, because if you unmute and we see that unmute happening, we don't ask questions, we delete immediately. And once you're removed, you may not be able to re-enter. Okay. So do we have do we have James and who, I'm sorry, Jane, who else was supposed to be coming on?
Janice is here. James will be a little later because he's still working.
Okay.
I got mixed up. I thought that they were ahead of us and they're behind us in time, right? So he's got to get off work, and I don't know if he's exactly what time.
Okay, Jane, I'm just going to hit mute all, and then you're going to have to unmute yourself again, okay? I just want to make sure everyone's muted.
I'm just seeing.
And I'm going to record this meeting, I'm guessing, tonight. All right, well, I'm going to assume that I'm supposed to record this meeting tonight. So,
yes, recording. And I'll just get in touch with Janice. She was trying to get on earlier, so she's probably waiting for me to tell her it started.
I'm on.
Oh, she's on? Janice?
She's on.
Okay,
all
perfect.
Right.
Okay, perfect.
So, folks, before we get going, I'm just going to repeat. If you want to ask a question, please put your hand up before you unmute yourself. If you happen to unmute yourself before you put your hand up, you may be removed before you have a chance to even ask a question, because we're just going to assume you're a troll and we're not going to take any chances. Having said that, we are going to be recording this meeting tonight. If you do not want to be seen on the recording, because we do share this recording on social media, you may want to turn your video off. If your name appears in lieu of your picture, in lieu of the video, you may want to change your name. Please do so. If you go to the bottom, you can change your name by, and sorry, I don't do this very often. You have to go to, this is me trying to multitask here. You have to go to, and this is where it gets funny because I don't know. Sorry, if you go to your picture and you see the three dots, you click on those three dots, you can rename yourself. If you don't know how to do this and you would like us to rename you for you, please let us know. Put your hand up. We'll give you a couple of moments and we will address what name you would like to come in as. We will rename you for you, turn off your video, and then you can keep your anonymity. Otherwise, you will be recorded and it may be shared on social media. So is there anyone here that wants themselves renamed? right. So with that, no one has put their hand up. I'm going to start recording one last time. One last warning, please do not unmute yourself unless, of course, you are going to ask a question, in which case put your hand up first. Otherwise, you will be removed. And I'm going to start the recording. All right.
Well, we
so-
can start. We can start with Janice, because she had some really cool things happen at her court today. And without further ado, do you want to let us know what happened, Janice?
So Janice, just if you could give us a little brief history about what your alleged offense was about before you get into your court, that would be great. Maybe even if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, and that's fine as well, but that's completely optional. And I'll let you take it away.
Okay, sure. So, yeah, my name is Janice, and I drove up by myself to Ottawa, and to join the truckers just to kind of help out wherever I could. I wasn't quite sure exactly what the plan was, but I definitely knew I wanted to help out because I've been hearing a lot about all the bad effects it was having on people, like losing their jobs and everything. So anyway, I went up there to help out, and I stayed for the whole time, mostly staying with friends that were in the area, and I drove in every day. Except near the end, when we knew the police were going to be coming in, I didn't know if I would be able to get back in, so I just decided to sleep in my car. So I did that for the last couple of nights. Did helping out. So that morning, so that was on the Friday. On Friday, I was at the far end of Wellington, just helping out at one of the donation tents. And then we got a call from one of the ladies who had been kind of manning that tent. She said that the police and the veterans were going toe to toe down at the War Memorial, and we kind of needed boots on the ground, everybody out there. So we went down, kind of gathered a few people on our way down there, and kind of went and faced the police down there, and just held the line, just kind of arm in arm, peacefully. I was in front of the Toronto police, just in front of the Marriott Hotel there. And anyway, so I was arrested on Friday.
This meeting is being recorded.
Sorry, Janice.
No problem. Okay, there you go. So yeah, anyway, we linked arms and held the line for a while, and then after a while I got knocked down at one point, and then pinned down to the ground and handcuffed and taken away. So it was on the Friday, and I got 3 charges from that. So that was they said 2 counts of mischief and resisting arrest, and I wasn't resisting arrest. So anyway, that was the Friday.
And you weren't doing mischief either.
No, we were just standing, just holding the line, just blocking the police from coming in. And then so went back on the Saturday. It was hard to get in. I stopped by Coventry Road on the way in to get some warm waterproof gloves, because when I was working down at the donation tents, we had several people come in looking for warm waterproof gloves, and we didn't have any. So I thought, while I'm out here trying to get back in, I'll see if I can get that for them. So I tried to get back in on Saturday. At that point, they blockaded everything off, and so I kept trying multiple streets, and they were either like multiple rows of police, or else they blocked off by like an 8-foot fence that they had around. So I went all the way around, kept trying, and went around like the back of the canal, up the back way. Anyway, finally, after probably like an hour and a half trying to get in, I just went around a small fence, like up by the what's it called? So I went over the small fence, like up by the canal that was there, up the stairs. And I was kind of debating, like, do I go over or not? Because at that point, I didn't see any of our people on that side. There were a few police, but down at the far end where I couldn't see at that point, like how many people were in there, were there trucks there or they're not. So I was just like wanting to get in, wanting to help, but not quite sure whether to go in or not. Anyway, a couple of people came up at the same time, and they decided to go over. So I'm like, well, if 2 are going over, we'll just make it 3. So I went over as well. And then within a couple of minutes, we were police saw us. They came over, arrested us. No fuss or anything, just. And then the charge from that, big court order, obstructing police. So that was the 4th one on the Saturday. So anyway, I've had a couple court cases, and then on Monday was the judicial pretrial, and it's actually turned out to be really funny. So like I was telling my older sister when I was chatting to her afterwards, and like, who knew you could get morning jollies from your judicial pretrial? Because yeah, so the judge was actually seemed a little bit peeved at the Crown because there was no damage at all. She's like, well, there's like mischief means damage, so like, where's the damage? And there was no damage, like no damage to the fence or anything like that. And she's like, seriously, is this what we want to spend the court's time on? So I'm like, yes, that's awesome. Anyway, the Crown didn't want to drop the charges, so we're gonna be moving on to trial, but that's not till June of next year. So, anyway, but just thought that was really fun. So, the other thing that the judge said was that the allegations and stuff that they were bringing against me were ridiculous. Her words, she said ridiculous, because she's like, seriously, she's bringing gloves. That's humanitarian aid. I'm like, thank you. That's exactly what I said to the police officer. Anyway, but it was just cool that the judge was on our side. And yeah, that's about where we're at.
That's really encouraging for people here, because so many people think there is no hope or no, that it's all corrupt and all the judges are just going to play along. And that hasn't been my experience. There's some awful wicked judges out there, but there's some really good ones as well. And I really don't know what the percentage is, but I'm hoping it's a high percentage of ones.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah. And they're dropping charges left, right, and center, all kinds of bylaw tickets and criminal charges. Yeah. Oh, do you know how to do that, Amanda? Okay. I don't know how to do that. How to get them out.
So yeah, actually one of the charges was dropped even before the judicial pretrial, and that was the resisting arrest.
Right on.
That was good.
Yeah, good. I don't think they have any grounds, and they're losing the Senate inquiry about the Emergency Act being brought in. The CSIS and RCMP and Ottawa Police have all said they did not request the government to bring out the Emergency Act, which means they didn't believe that anything that was going on that needed legal attention, was beyond the existing legislation, like criminal code or whatever. So that's a big thorn in their side. And there'll be more, I think. Hopefully they will get the military to make a position on it, that they didn't request it either. And then the next thing is, okay, where's your evidence, guys? That there was serious risk to the health, safety, and lives, health, and safety of the public, or the evidence that there was going to be an overthrow of the government. I think they have a great big fat nothing burger. So, and the police are not backing them up. The police are putting up their hands and like, it's not on us, it's on you guys. Ottawa Police has also confirmed. This must be Antifa.
Keep going.
Yeah, so the Ottawa Police have confirmed that there's no guns or any kind of weapons seized in any of the trucks. As well.
Cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch. Big car.
As well, violence. There was an allegation at one time that there was an arson that was connected to the trucking, and now they've confirmed publicly that it was unrelated to the trucking. So nothing burger, great big fat nothing burger, and was not a blockade legally, and it was not an occupation legally, because they left one lane open, intersections open. The only road that was blocked right down was blocked by the police, Wellington. But if you went on Wellington, there was one lane open and the intersection's open. So there's no evidence that there's blockade, and there's just the only thing they had going was that the media kept on repeating it over and over and over again. Blockade, occupation, blockade. And of course, Trudeau and his company also piped into that, but there's no evidence of that. And it's time to cough up the evidence. And there's going to be accountability, big time accountability, because the jig is up. Like their actions are not legally defensible. And I can see some great big fat lawsuits coming for people who had damage to their trucks and who were beaten and stuff like that. So James may come on later, but I can just give an overview of what I know about his case right now, and he can reiterate when he comes on. But he had a judicial pretrial this week as well, and the Crown has agreed to allow him to have a trial. Not a trial, I mean a jury trial, because of the fact that his rights are going to be questioned. And we're also going to ask that it not be an exclusively vaxxed jury, because that would be bias, because the purpose of the protest was vaxxed passport travel. So that they can't have a completely vaxxed jury. So that'll be another, and if they deny that, that'll be a cause for appeal. And as well, I got to look up the names of them because I always forget. But he's told the Crown already he wants to subpoena Trudeau and Singh, and the other, and we Rebecca recommended the 3 MPs who brought in the Emergency Act, which was Blair, Mencindo, and Lametti. So those 3, and they can't deny that because we have a right to full defense. And these are the people who created criminal offenses out of peaceful protesting. So they need to come and prove it that there was a valid reason to bring in the Emergency Act and create crimes out of peaceful protesting. And if they don't do that, then they're not, because they are relevant witnesses to what happened. And I don't think they have anything. Like, according to the police, there's no evidence that there was violence or threats or anything coming from the protesters. And his wife was charged with the same charges he got, and they announced in the judicial pretrial that all charges are stayed with her. So pretty much that means they'll be gone. There's like kind of a waiting period, but they'll be put aside. And I thought that was a great victory. And also, changing topics a bit, but Christina Pablos, she got all her charges dropped yesterday. And another person, I can't remember who it was now. Rebecca, they called Rebecca, and I can't remember who it was. But it's steady. We're hearing from people steady that but I have a bit of a thing with Kelly. Kelly's, I don't know if people are familiar, but Kelly Hale was a bar owner in Kingston, and they really kicked the shit out of him. They start off with 2 bylaw tickets, which are really perverted, because they say he's charged with continuing non-compliance with section 7.0.2, and you can't even sort out what the hell that is. It's all convoluted and really stupid. And in the regulations, there's no enforcement anyway for things like mask and vax passport and all that. They have them mentioned in there, and they're asking them to create a policy, but there's no compliance. Like, there's no if you have to do this or this is going to happen to you, and that's what a legal requirement looks like. You can't do this or this will happen to you, or you must do this or this will happen to you, and that doesn't say that in there. And in his public health hearing, Dr. Oglaza, who's the public health doctor for the Kingston area, admitted that there's no enforcement in Regulation 36420, which is the one that was in place that applied to Kelly. So that's under the ROA. There's no enforcement in there. They're asking for a mask passport policy, and then they give an outline of the policy they want, but there's no requirement. There's no enforcement. So today they were supposed to have a judicial pretrial for him because everything they did to him, like they took his business license, they took his liquor license, they what else did they do? Oh, they put injunctions and all kinds of stuff. And at the end of the day, everything stemmed from these two stupid bylaw tickets, which he hasn't even had a hearing for. So that for the business license, they said he broke the law. So we're taking his license. Well, it's not determined that he broke the law until he has this hearing. Same as his liquor license. He broke the law. No, it's not determined yet. And we argued that. And they just went, we don't care. They just kept going for it anyway. But now they're in a problem because everything can be reversed if they don't win these two tickets. And as you've seen, they're dropping everybody's tickets because they can't get a conviction because it's too stupid the way it's written up. And so today they were supposed to have a judicial pretrial, and it was set quite a while ago, weeks ago, and we were all ready to go. And about a half an hour before, they announced that they were canceling it.
I'm in a timeout. Would you?
Oh, excuse me. Canceling it and putting the matter forward till May 31st to set a new date for a judicial pretrial. So it would seem that they're antsy, because they know when they have this discussion, we've broken everything down and it's all stupid. And there's no way they can get a proper conviction. They could get a perverted one, if they get a cooperative idiot judge, but not judge, but justice of peace. But it can be appealed. It can be appealed several times because it can go to divisional court and then Ontario appeals court. So, and we're all ready to go. Like he's no bars held. He's going to go right for the gusto on this, and we'll help him whatever way we can. So, at this point, I guess I could put it over to the floor. If James shows up, we'll give him the floor too. Oh, but I see that Kimberly's here, and she may have some information about her case that she wants to share. I'm not sure. Sorry to put you on the spot if you don't want to, but if you have stuff to share, feel free to do it.
I've been reading a whole bunch today. What I read in this, because my case is not indictable, it's some summary.
Yeah.
Right. So what I read, and I was messaging with Rebecca, is I found out from the time that the proceedings started till the time of my trial, they only have 12 months.
The trick is to tell them stories that don't go anywhere. Like the time I caught the ferry over to Shelbyville.
Yeah, it's 18 months actually.
Well,
18 months, yeah.
No. In BC, it's 12 months. Mine's criminal.
Okay.
Mine's criminal. Yeah. I looked it up. I have it on my computer. It's 12 months. First of all, this happened April 24th, 2020.
Yeah.
I didn't get the charges until March 12th, 2021.
Oh, how many months was that? How many months was that?
That was 11 months.
No, like from when you did it to when you get charged?
From when I did it to when I got charged? Sorry. From when I didn't do anything.
No, but the incident they're talking about.
From the incident to the time that they laid the charges was 11 months. They did
Guess what? I got to tell you this, and this is for sure. They have only 6 months to lay the charge. 6.
Well, it was 12 months. 11 months.
6.
Yeah.
No, listen. That's two different things.
In BC?
No, it's criminal. So it's federal. It doesn't change by province. It's 6 months to lay the criminal charge. And then what you're talking about is to complete the process. like to be finished, your trial, all
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And so we're talking apples and oranges. So
Okay,
they
so
only
they-
have 6 months in every province to
So
lay
they
the
messed
charge.
up there.
Yeah.
They messed up there. And then, because what I was reading today, also from the time that they lay the charges to the time that it goes to trial, they have 12 months. Well, it was March 12th, 2021. I didn't even find out I had any charges until November 5th of 2021. And the first court trial was going to be April 26th, which is still 14 months. Sorry, Kaylee. 14 months after the proceedings started. And now that I was adjourned, because I had to get it adjourned because the lawyer was, anyway.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be, I think it's 18 months or so. I had the math done anyway. It's even more, right? Because it's not until July 29th.
Yeah.
Plus the prosecutor, they should never have gone ahead with the charges in the first place, because of what I read. They were supposed to look at all the evidence as of April 19th of this year,
I tied an onion to my belt.
last month. They hadn't even looked at the videos. The prosecutor hadn't even looked at the videos. So they were already making me go through court for this trial without even seeing all of the evidence.
That's ridiculous. And the lawyer told us she didn't even look at the video, right?
Well, and that's another thing. The lawyer, my lawyer, should have known that they couldn't proceed with trial, knowing that it was after a year from the charges that were laid. She was going to plea bargain me. So why didn't she stop them and say, no, you can't prosecute her anymore. It's over the year.
Yeah, and you don't need plea bargaining either.
Well, no, I wasn't going to plea bargain.
Yeah.
I don't even know why she was going there, because
no.
Hi, guys.
Did I say I was making any pleas?
It's Rebecca, and I'm sorry I forgot about the time change. And here I was making dinner, having a good time. Do. Sorry about that. Yeah, and Kimberly, I was hearing what you were saying there, and I forgot to get back to you to tell you that it is criminal, and so it is federal. So what you guys have netted out is correct. And to all of your questions, imagine Kimberly, if you stayed with that lawyer and she cut you a deal for something that shouldn't even be in the books.
Yeah. So now I have to figure out how to put that together, so when I go to court on June 13th, that I can tell them to go stuff it.
Yeah. Well, we could do a Zoom with you and give you feedback.
That would be great, because and the other thing is I was never notified I had charges, and they're supposed to do that too. They're supposed to notify you. I didn't know I had charges till November 5th.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Of 2021. I had no idea.
Yeah, no, they have to charge you within 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months of the incident.
Well, and then they also gave a lame excuse that they couldn't find me. Well, that's a lie, because at least 3 times I was in front of police. November 18th, I was in front of police, Mr. Constable Weiss, in front of Save On Foods. And he says he's not part of this. I says, yeah, you are, because you're intimidating me because you're in front of my car. So I had seen him with my car, knew my name. Then in January of 2021, outside of Uculta Lodge jail, when they were killing my mom, and the nursing jail called the police on us because we had confronted them about wrecking a picture of my grandpa. I went batshit freaking crazy. I admit it. It was the last time I saw my mom alive. They knew me then. My car was there. They knew my name because they had called. And then in the summer of 2021, I was down at the air park in Courtney, and a police officer came. My car was there. My sister was with me, and we talked to him. And none of those 3 times any of these officers say that they were looking for me.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good indication that they didn't follow up properly. So they're over the 6 months, and they didn't follow up properly, and they're taking too long to prosecute, and they don't have grounds, like they don't have evidence.
Well, yeah, and then I got that.
I think you have a pretty good
too.
case. You got a pretty good case there.
Okay, just that's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. What did Janice and
Yeah.
James join
Janice.
us? Did I miss?
James is going to be a little late because he's working, because they're behind. They're 2 hours behind. He's
Oh, yeah,
2
yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Is Janice still here?
I
Yes.
think so.
Janice, I just want to say congratulations.
Thank you.
And also, did you tell everyone that, so there was a gentleman that I helped yesterday with his quarantine ticket, and they said they just dropped it. He went into the courtroom and it was dropped. And then Christina Pablos, she had hers dropped. I think it was a Reopening Ontario offense using the Bill of Rights. So I'm anyone who we have helped guide them through the court process and has followed in the direction has not lost. So we are batting 100 here.
Yeah. And I just found something for Kimberly. It's the criminal notebook on causing a disturbance. They're easy to follow, and it shows what the Crown needs to do to make their case. So I just need her email.
Yeah, I can send you Kim's email, no problem.
Okay, I'll send you the document, and you can forward it to her.
Yeah,
I'll
copy you. Yeah, I'll send it to the two of you, so then you guys are connected on email.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what else have we got going on?
I'm just going to ask a question. Kimberly, you said you found something in the rules of criminal procedure that the trial must take place within 12 months. And Janice has got criminal mischief charges, which have been remanded until next June, which is well past 12 months. Anyone catching a correlation here? I'm kind of interested. Can you share that information?
I think it's 18 months. That's in BC. She said.
That's our Gordon for POA though, Jane. What about criminal?
No, it's 18 months for criminal. I have the case law for it. It's just about a year ago.
Jordan.
No, listen. Oh. She's saying there's something different in BC. But Janice is in Ontario. So for Janice, it's 18 months. That's for sure. I have the case law in my house. That's about a year old, Supreme Court. And it has to be not started by 18 months, has to be done.
Yes.
Everything completed. Now, BC may have, like the Court of Appeal for BC, may have a 12-month limit. But
no. It was criminal. It was under criminal.
Yeah, I'm talking criminal.
I'm positive. It was under criminal.
Yeah. I'm talking criminal. And it's criminal is 18 months. But like for BC, they might have another, like their courts. All the courts are provincial, so they could have.
I just wanted everyone to be. Yeah, this call's being recorded, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so there could, like, I don't know anything about BC, so I wouldn't doubt that there could be a protocol for BC for 12 months, because it would be less than the 18 months, so that would be allowed. That would be, like, they could do that if they want. But for the general one and for Ontario, it's 8. I think you had that case law at some time, at some point, Rebecca.
Yeah, it's
it might be on. No. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have that.
Okay.
Was there anyone else that joined us tonight that wanted to tell their story of their self-representation in the courts?
Oh, Kathleen's got her hand up.
Yep.
Go ahead, Kathleen, unmute.
Hi, everybody. So those of you who don't know me, I'm in Quebec. I demonstrated the night they imposed the curfew on here in 21. So sure enough, I got a ticket, and the judge said I was guilty. So I put in an appeal.
Can you guys get that one?
Yeah, sorry, I stopped away to grab a bite to eat.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
So he's gone.
And
So
just,
anyways,
just before you start again, I can't see Kimberly's email. Did you put it in there?
okay.
Okay, sorry.
All right. So the judge said I was guilty. I put in an appeal. Then the prosecutor said I was barking up the wrong tree. Shouldn't have put in the appeal to that court of appeal. The appeal should have gone to the Supreme Court. And then I was all in a tizzy. I was like, oh, what did I do wrong? I should have done this. I should have done that. And and in the meantime, and then at the same time, the judge said I was supposed to be tuning into. Okay, I was supposed to be tuning into the sentencing, and I was like 1 second late tuning into the like it's not Zoom, but it's called Teams. And then I was like 1 second late logging into the hearing, and she said, oh, it's all over, you're late now, we did the judgment, and you're deemed guilty for forever and ever. There's like, this is the point of no return kind of. And then I was again in a total tizzy, like, oh God, what did I do? And now I was just kind of like calm surrender. I was just like, I just can't take it anymore. I was just like, I'm gonna go do my gardening. I just couldn't take it anymore. So anyways, sure enough, I get an email today from the appeals court, and they are accepting the appeal, despite the fact that the prosecutors had found some kind of a section, some such whatever, claiming that I have no business going to that court of appeal. So, but nonetheless, that court of appeal is hearing it now. So for me, this is just an experience. Like all this time, I'm just saying I have to read Kafka again. It's been many decades I've read him, but it's just like, for me, it's just like, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I mean, I think half the battle is just like, getting like understanding that this is all about mind fuckery and like, I don't know. But I do have a date now on June 1st with the Court of Appeals, which I'm happy about. So I suppose I do have a chance, just like, presenting my case with the Bill of Rights and whatever. So but it's just like, I got an email like with 3 PDFs, like the whole PDF, and it's just like there's a lot of mental energy that goes into like, what are they even trying to tell you? And like a lot of mental energy is just like goes into saying it's nothing, it's just smoke and mirrors, it's nothing. So that's all I wanted to share. I don't have any questions. That's all I wanted to share.
Are you using the Bill of Rights?
Of course. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, you should be successful. Just keep going. If they're allowing your appeal, just keep going.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really grateful to all of you, and I keep I know there's just like, it seems like there's always a loophole, that there's always like, if they're doing this, okay, I could do this and this and that, but you just have to keep on the ball and do that legwork. But so anyways, I'm just going to present myself on June 1st and go from there.
Okay, so Kathleen, though, remember when you're doing an appeal, you're pointing out the errors of law that may have impacted the outcome of your case. And I have shared with you some case law on the Telegram chat that you can use where they have a duty to assist you. So there's that information as well. But it is, I think I just, no, you have been signed out because your account is signed in from another device. So I think I may have been lost.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure.
Amanda?
Yeah,
sure
because I'm signed, Rebecca and I are both signed into the same account. So I'm going to have to sign out. Rebecca, have you got it?
Uh-oh.
Hold on, give me 1 second.
Okay.
All I know is I see two Rebeccas.
Yeah, I'm getting some disruptance here from Zoom because Rebecca and I are logged into the same account.
Yeah. I was wondering why I'm seeing two Rebeccas. But I do hear your voice.
I don't know how to get rid of the other Rebecca. Just
I need to log out. Are you good to go, Rebecca, if I log out?
Yeah. Oh, it's
Okay.
you. Yes, I'm good.
All
Sorry,
right,
guys.
I'm out.
Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. Sorry about that. As I mentioned, I totally forgot about the time change. So, I was not on my A game. Not on my A game. Okay, cool. All right, there we go. So thank you so much for sharing your story, Kathleen. I think Amanda was raising a good point that when you're doing the appeal, you're going to look for the errors in due process. So you're going to want to look up. You're in Quebec, right? So you're going to want to look up it's a little bit different in each province, but you'll want to look up like the rules of civil procedure and like maybe like the rules of the courts, so that you can say, well, you didn't do this or you missed that or whatever it is, so that you can put that in your appeal because you didn't get a fair trial. If you were only a few minutes late and they got in there and said they already said that they've already determined that you're guilty, well, then that's not giving you. No, there is a bit of grace period that should have occurred.
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting too, it didn't occur to me until after I even did the appeal, but in Quebec anyways, there's a little pamphlet, like it's from the government of Quebec, that says how to self-represent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it is from the barreau, like from the bar.
Yeah.
But it is obviously condoned by the government because it's on their government website.
It absolutely is. And so it's
but when you read that thing on how to represent, it's totally ridiculous. Number one, they never once mentioned the Bill of Rights.
No, but Kathleen, that's not. So don't confuse two things here. When they give you guides for self-representation, they're not telling you how to represent your case because everyone's case is different. What they're doing is they're giving you rules of civil procedure. Example, things like you've got 30 days to. I'm just trying to think of something right now, but it would be rules of the court. It is not. But
right.
The Bill of Rights.
That's fine.
Using the Bill of Rights has nothing to do with the courts, like the procedure of the courts. Okay, that's legislation that you may or may not use in your case.
Okay, but okay. Another point is though in Quebec, if you're contesting your case on the basis of a constitutionality of the case, you're supposed to inform the Attorney General 30 days in advance.
Yes.
They in that pamphlet for how to self-represent, they never once mentioned that.
But
so
you don't have to use that. You don't have to use that for the Bill of Rights, though.
But
you have to use it for the Quebec Charter, and you have to use it for the Constitution Charter.
Okay, Jane.
Do not have to use it for the Bill of Rights.
I know, Jane, you've said that before, but I'm curious if I claim that on June 1st, if I'm claiming what you're just saying, like on the basis of what can I claim that?
But that there's no requirement in the Bill of Rights. I think we spoke about this before. You read the Bill of Rights and nowhere does it tell you have to do that. If you look at the charter, it tells you you have to make an application to a court of competent jurisdiction. And then that process involves notification. Like there's a form that you have to use, once you look into it. And right on the form, on the bottom of the form, it tells you have to fax the filled out form to the Attorney General's.
Oh, really? Okay.
But that's for the charter. That's for the charter. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
And the Quebec Bill of Rights, the Quebec Charter, I'm not sure where the rules are, but there are articulated rules that say if you're using it, you have to notify. But with the
actually,
Bill of
the
Rights,
Quebec Charter does not say that, Jane. So shut the fuck up.
I didn't say it said that. I said there are rules. I said I didn't know if it said it in it, but there is rules. So you shut the fuck up.
You know, these people that are coming on here, they're really something else.
Yeah.
And they're sabotaging.
Yeah. And you do have to notify the Attorney General of Quebec if you're using the Quebec Charter. And I said I don't know if the rules are in the charter or if they could be in your civil procedures rules, but there is rules for it.
Yeah.
But I don't practice in Quebec, so I don't have things off the top of my head, and I'm not giving legal advice for Quebec, but it's just general knowledge that I have. But the Bill of Rights, I can tell you, there's nothing anywhere that says you have to notify anybody. You can use it. You can use it in the moment. You can use it with police right when you're standing right there. You can use it in any proceeding without doing anything formal. You can just bring it up like any other piece of legislation. It's not fancy that way. So that's how you prove it. You show it. You take bring, and then you put it on them. Like if they're telling you have to notify somebody, well, where is it? Where's that rule?
Yeah.
Here's the bill I'm using. It doesn't say it in there. So where does it say that? What rules? Not in the criminal code. Where else would it be? It's not in the Courts of Justice Act. It's not anywhere that I know of. So but they'd have to come in with it. If they're coming after you saying there's a rule that if you use the Bill of Rights, you have to notify the Attorney General. Well, where's that rule?
Well, I mean, it's a debate about, but I mean, they're saying any act I'm supposed to be on the grounds of anything in Canada, provincially, federally, whatever.
That's not true though. That's not true.
Okay.
It's for if you're using the Constitution, like if you're using the Charter.
Yeah.
But not if you're using the bill. The bill doesn't have that format. It's not that format.
And I also want to clarify, that's what we were just clarifying, is that the rules of civil procedure is not how to present your case. So if you're using a constitutional challenge, then that's something that is not part of it is part of rules of civil, not necessarily the rules of civil procedure itself, but you may not use the charter, you may use the Bill of Rights. So rules of civil procedure is not how to present your case. It's the process of the courtroom. Okay? So it's two different things. It's not the same thing. So
but her complaint was that this was a procedure that she needed to know, but in the self-representation book, it didn't make light of it. Yeah, that's wrong.
And
you could complain about that too, because they neglected, to attend to an important issue for you, because they're supposed to accommodate you. That Amanda sent you some case law that says that self-represented is supposed to be accommodated. Procedures, at least for procedures, not for, they don't have to tell you how to they're not going to tell you how to make your case, but they need to tell you procedures. And notifying the Attorney General of Quebec is a procedure. So you have two arguments for the Bill of Rights. First of all, if that's the case, where did that come from? And I don't think they can show it from anywhere. But even if they could, then you could say, well, why was I not notified? Why was I not informed?
And it's crazy. Someone else from our group, just from Quebec, was just trying to do that dutifully. Yeah. And because based on that section, whatever, 70 something, you're supposed to do that by bailiff. and he had to pay $650 to have it delivered by bailiff.
Oh my
That's
God.
like crazy.
Oh, that's
And one
good.
more thing in that brochure, it never like about how to self-represent. There's
Yeah.
not one word mentioned ever anywhere about appeals either, which
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
So,
No.
anyway, I just wanted to share that. And
Well, the work that we're doing, is going to help clearing up some of that stuff for people. You know what I mean? Like the experiences that you're having and the things that you're finding out as you're moving along, that can be passed on to other people. Like Kimberly's doing a lot of research now, and that information can be passed along to other people. And then Janice has done a bunch of research, and she's come up with some really good documents and stuff.
Yeah.
So, and all of us, I mean, I'm not trying to just, there's Mr. James.
Hi, James.
These guys are learning a lot.
Yeah.
I think they're learning a lot. At least they're listening. They must be listening. So maybe they're learning something. But anyways,
the trolls.
That's anyway. So anyways, I'm glad to be part of this group, and I don't really have any questions right now, but yeah.
Okay, so we've set every second Monday, 8:00 for self-representation. Or every second, like once a month, right? So the second Monday of every month at 8:00.
Third. So, because it's next weekend, right?
Every third weekend?
I thought we were doing it. Hold on.
I can do it. I would rather keep it every second weekend instead of switching the first one.
So we're gonna do it just once a month or twice a month? Because
once a month.
Okay.
Once a month. The second Monday. The second Monday. And people can still bring up stuff on Fridays too.
Of course, yeah.
But you can do some intensive discussion on it on every second Monday. Or is it Monday?
Yes. Yeah, Monday.
Yeah.
Every
second Monday. Yeah.
We met on the 9th. It's the last time we met.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, James.
Okay, so James.
Yeah.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. We can hear you loud and clear.
Perfect. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being on.
Yeah. So you want to tell us the lowdown?
Oh, where do we start, Jane? You've been there with me all along, so that's a good start. I'm very appreciative of.
Yeah, I enjoyed that first one.
Of you, Jane.
I enjoyed that first judicial pretrial. That was really good.
The Crown definitely didn't like us. That's for sure.
But you were very calm and very confident. Hit me with your best shot. I could take it.
So let's hear what went down.
Let's see here. So we talked to the Crown about the upcoming. We made a request for a jury, and he did not like that at all. Tried to repeatedly tell us that we needed to get a lawyer, and Jane jumped in there and she did her magic sauce with some nice legal wordsmithing and a combination of everything. We got our jury.
This is amazing.
So that's
what are your
going to be very. Jane, do you have? I'm driving right now, so I apologize. I just got off work. So, Jane, do you have the list of the charges, the updated ones?
Up. Just a sec. I'll look it up. Dave sent it to me, so just a second. I have to go look it up.
And on a positive, while Jane's doing that, at the same time, we also got the same charges. Mind you, my wife Sandra was charged with the same original charges as I was, and she had all her charges stayed.
Exactly.
So they won't be seeking any criminal at this stage, anyways.
That's awesome.
So that's positive. That's really positive news.
Yes. Amazing. So you've got your jury, and do you have?
Yes.
So do they have a date, or they're going to work towards that, setting that up?
We believe on the June 10th at 9:00 in the morning. The fun starts.
Ooh, that's exciting.
That's going very quick. Every week or 2 weeks, I got to be on court, and some of it's pretty. Like the last court date was in and out within a couple of minutes was on Monday.
Right.
Do you want to tell about the subpoenas?
Oh, so I did send a nice little love letter to the Crown Prosecutor Moyes there, letting him know that I planned on subpoenaing Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh and the police chief, and Jane's got a list of really good people that
Rebecca knows them. Blair,
Mendocino, Blair, Lametti. Those three folks. Blair is the former chief of police who is now the head of the Ministry of Emergency Preparedness. He also sits on the Privy Council. And then Mendocino, who was consistently calling everybody in the convoy racist and misogynist, that we were violent. He was just a real piece of shit. And then there was Lametti, who didn't say too much, but Mendocino was very aggressive, and he was very vocal about discrediting anybody who was in the movement. So those three guys were the ones, along with I think. So if you actually look at the Emergencies Act, the order, you'll see the three of their names on there.
Yeah, so those individuals plus Mr. Justin Trudeau, obviously, he had a pretty good part in that to play. Jagmeet Singh also had a part in it to play. Who else? The commissioner of the RCMP, what's her name there?
Well, do you know, James, now that they've been going through the Special Joint Committee, that neither Brenda Lucky, who's the commissioner of the RCMP, David Bignon, who's the head of CSIS, nor Bell, obviously the chief of police for the Ottawa Police Services, none of them were able to. None of them were able to state who they didn't know why it was declared. They couldn't say what the grounds were, and none of them were able to say that it was themselves that actually ordered it. So the chief of police didn't order it. Brenda Lucky didn't order it, nor did the head of CSIS. So who ordered it? Who asked for them to bring forward the act? Dun, dun, dun. It's the who done it, and I bet you it's going to be Trudeau under there.
Yep.
You got them by the media. So how they explained it when they rolled out the troopers was, we have to remember there's a timeline. And when we were in Ottawa, James had me monitor everything for the timeline. So if you remember correctly, James, they went to the media. They weren't supposed to announce anything, and Justin announced it on the media. And after that announcement was made, members of the Senate and even members within the Liberal caucus said, "What are you doing?" Because they didn't do due process. They were supposed to make the vote in the House. They were supposed to go to the Senate, and he didn't even do that. So right there is a violation of tort law under misfeasance, and you got him right there. Just
and
by that alone.
Also, it violates the Emergency Act itself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be
you're correct. It's common law also, but the Emergency Act's third paragraph, they're not allowed to override your rights in their emergency plan, and they did. And Section 3, they're supposed to have specific grounds, which they did not have them. And as well, Section 6, it's supposed to go through the House and the Senate at the outset. And then after it passes, then they can do it ordering council without going through Senate, and legislature. But he just went directly there, just skipped for that step.
All niggers, fuck all niggers, fuck all niggers, fuck all niggers, fuck all niggers.
Oh God.
Oh,
What in
the
that
heck?
case?
yeah.
What in that case?
Nigger.
So this person's just showing who they are, which is a complete.
Well, they're being
Holy.
investigated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
Somebody mute that person.
No,
We do, and then
we
he
do.
changes his name and comes back on.
Yeah, and I want to be clear that this is actually escalated to the point where we've had to contact the police. And
they're
don't think the cybersecurity team won't find you, because we know all the other things that you're doing, and we're gonna get you. So you can.
Yeah, you happen to have a white hat on here too. That's very highly
But we're
connected in
gonna
that
get
business.
ya. We're
Right
gonna
on.
get ya.
Hey, Jay, are you looking into that? Jason, are you still online?
Uh-oh. Oh, she might have accidentally bounced him
Yeah,
because
it's
he was
possible.
unmuted.
Yeah,
We'll make sure she gets him back in. Just a second. Amanda? Oh, or did you do that, Rebecca?
I'm not sure because it was bouncing around because they also changed their names too.
Okay, so you might have accidentally got,
Yeah,
the
if
guy
you
that
want
was
to message him
talking?
and see if he can come back in.
James is driving, so just watch for if he's asking to join. Yeah.
Yeah, and
you
if he
can't
can
hear me.
bounce-
I can hear you guys.
No,
we may have
get your
bounced him by
friend?
accident.
Your friend, I think we bounced him by accident.
We might have bounced him by accident because we
yeah,
had a
so
racist
Jay is
on
a
here.
white hat. Jay is a white hat. He's a good guy to have on our team.
No, it would have been James, because this person, what happens is that it causes the names to bounce. And when we're trying to, because there were several people unmuted, it's possible that he was accidentally removed from the meeting, which I'm terribly sorry if that happened. We're being attacked right now. There's an individual it's clearly one person who's attacking us. And it's extending beyond these meetings. And I'm just going to leave it at that. But this person has a real hate on for us and is calling us a white supremacist group, which is why they were making those comments. And I mean, obviously that has no reflection on us. You sound like an idiot doing that. Even if you are a white supremacist, you sound like a moron doing that. So this person is trying to defame us and make salacious comments about who we are and what we do. I think it's pretty obvious that we're none of those things. And so we're just moving forward with our meetings as best as we can, but it's been a challenge. And I'm not going to let anybody like that impact the work that we're doing. And I think anyone who works with us, that we are clearly not a racist organization, quite the opposite. And so that's what's been happening, just so you know, James. And so we did remove your friend. We're terribly sorry about that. We obviously
no worries.
That. So yeah,
crazy times we live in right now.
It is, and you have to understand too. Like in reality, we're making a lot of headway here, and so with the headway that we're making, you're going to get attacked, right? So it's going to happen eventually. So I take it as, even though it's annoying, I take it as a compliment. So to the person who's attacking us, thank you for validating that we're doing good work here, because obviously it's getting under someone's skin.
And James, it may have actually been me because I'm the one with the itchy trigger finger tonight. So please tell your friend my apologies if he was removed by me.
Yeah.
No worries. So Jane, did you by chance get those?
Diane, I'm gonna say goodbye to you now. Bye. Okay, we're gonna
Jane,
keep on.
Did you get those charges? The updated ones?
I can't find them. I'm looking, but Dave and I text a lot back and forth, and I can't locate it really quickly. I'll send him a text and see if he can send it to me again.
So just to recap, James, because I know I don't have if you don't mind, if you can remind us just what your charges were, and I believe it's all stemming from.
Oh wait, here I got it. I just got it. I don't know how I missed it before. Just a second. No. Okay, so it's count 2 and further that. Between the first day of December, blah 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 blah. But what the hell's the charge? I don't want to read all that shit. Crap. Oh, it doesn't make it very clear.
Let's see here.
Here, oh, you can't. You're driving, eh? You're still driving.
No, I'm at home here. I'm just
okay.
I'm
I'll
just going through my emails to try to figure out where.
Send this to you. I'll send this to you right now. This is what he called the updated charges, but it just seems like blither. Okay, so the first, here I got it. The first one is 2 counts of intimidation. And interference with the lawful use, enjoyment, or operation of property, 3 counts. 4 counts of doing something that a person had a lawful right to do. Wait a minute, or no. Compelling one or more persons to abstain from doing something that person had a lawful right to do, or do anything that the person had a lawful right to do. Lawful right to abstain from doing. Block or obstruct one or more highways contrary to section 423, section 1, clause G of the criminal code. 5 counts of obstruct a peace officer in the execution of his duty, or any person lawfully acting in aid of such an officer, contrary to section 129. And that's it.
Yeah, so that went from 3 charges to quite substantial, lot more charges, but still nothing that I'm getting scared about.
No,
nothing that isn't nothing that isn't
also,
defendable.
Yeah, there's also another one count of mischief.
I was originally charged with mischief, so that's still the same.
And it's really stupid because they're not giving, like, this is supposed to be your information, and they're not giving the context of the mischief or the obstruction of any of this, really. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just say mischief. It has to be you've done something that constitutes mischief. In your information, it should spell that out, not just throw mischief around like loosely like this. They're not, and so what I'll do now, I'm going to send you the notebook on these charges, and it'll show what the Crown has to prove to get a conviction for these. Yeah, I'll try to get that within the next day or so.
So what we're going to work on this weekend and before we have is that application for acquittal. Now that we have a trial date.
Yes. Yeah, Dave can help you with that.
We might not even get to subpoena Justin.
Why not?
Well, if they're gonna if they accept the application for acquittal.
Oh yeah. You're right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
then
exactly.
we wouldn't.
That's true.
It would be fun to subpoena him. Obviously, you know, you want to have your charges released, but wouldn't that be fun to subpoena him?
Oh yeah.
I'm wondering. This is unprecedented in my books. I mean, I'm just a humble guy here, and wanted to get together with some fellow Canadians and go to Ottawa and protest, and here we are, right?
And it was peaceful, every minute of it, and we know that. Yeah. This is the thing. We know the truth. We were there. We saw what happened. We know the people that were there. And so why should any of us admit to anything that we didn't do? We're not the guilty ones. The guilty ones are the ministers that invoked that Emergency Act, and the guilty ones are the ones that sat in the House and did nothing while it was being illegally enforced on the people of Ottawa and the people of Canada. They're the ones who should be in court. They're the ones that belong in jail, not the people that were standing up for the rights that they were infringing upon.
What about those assholes at Billings Bridge that blocked the trucks for 12 hours?
Yes.
They wouldn't let them leave. Yeah.
Yes, those guys as well. That's just horrible. That is unbelievable. That is actually terrorism.
They have me on record on Friday, or was it Thursday? Thursday or Friday? Me asking for everybody to get your butts back down here because people were leaving, and I was like, you need to hold the line, get down here. I'm not going anywhere, and I'm on video on that one. So that's the only thing they've really got.
James, remember, James, that both injunctions, the lawyer stated that the judge stated that the protests were lawful and peaceful in both injunctions. One, I believe, is February 14th, and the other one was around February 4th or something. So, and he basically said, have at her, as long as it's peaceful and lawful, go for it. So there's, again, that's not, you didn't commit a crime by doing that.
Oh,
You
No,
asked
that's,
me.
I mean, that's,
Yeah.
and he's talking about what we did in, he like bear hug is some sort of vicious evil thing. Like, I'm not kidding you. He's freaking out about bear hug 1 and bear hug 2. Because bear hug 1, we were in Ottawa. We did the first trial kind of thing in December there, and he's referencing that in the charges.
Yeah. So, okay, so what does that, I'm not even sure how that,
plays out.
yeah,
He's fishing in my books.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So what if you did that? You still didn't break the law then. You didn't break the law in the first bear hug, and you didn't break the law in the second one. So they've got nothing, like the mischief. Come on.
No, and when we started this back in when we kick-started out of Calgary and drove to Ottawa for the first one, every single conversation, like, I've been partnered with the police, from OPS to OPP to the whole shoot and caboodle, Ottawa Police Services to Parliamentary Police Services. We were in full communication all the way through. At any given time, while we're at the Arc Hotel there, the police were there with me every day. They could have arrested me if I'd done anything unlawful or illegal. And I've got these 2 staff sergeants, special sergeants. They're willing to testify on my behalf. I've already talked to them.
Yeah.
So I haven't even put that into the mix yet with the Crown. I've just told them that I do have witnesses.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's supposed to be some sort of protocol as when I'm supposed to hand those witnesses over.
We have an OPP officer that was working with us, and she went around. This was the day before they issued that notice, and went all through the different streets to analyze whether it was legal. And she analyzed also Coventry. And it was her very firm opinion that everything fell within legal context. And she had a flyer. I think I can still dig it up. It's a flyer that they used to use to show people the legal parameters for either blocking roads or slowing down roads. You're allowed to do both of those things in protest. And the rules are 1 lane open and intersections open. And that's it.
Which we did.
Yes, exactly. So if there's
I remember
lanes,
the first 3 days was the first 3 days was very active with working with all the police departments on roads and opening things up and stuff like that. Very, very active.
Yeah.
Very cooperative. They were very happy with everything, and away we went.
Well, and I mean, let's also remember, again, for the people that weren't there, the police were the police were high-fiving and dancing and hugging too. That, it only got aggressive in the end when they brought in the other police and when they invoked the Emergencies Act. It was obvious that they were bringing in other folks because things did start to change in the end, like the last couple of days. But, the police were there on the streets every single day with us. And
I don't know if you guys seen the video the first time we were there for Bear Hug 1. We've got videos of OPS dancing with us with their masks off. Well, we got quite a few videos with the police always with us through that whole event. But right at Justin Trudeau's cottage, when we had Bubbles bus there and we did a convoy into his, blocked 24 Sussex there, and then we went over to his cottage and blocked that off, and we've got that all on video with the police partying with us, dancing.
Yeah. Because not all the police, and I'll say this again, and I know, trust me, I saw the shit that they did, but that is not the majority of the police. The majority of the police are dealing with the same things as well. They were forced into the vaccine, or they lost their jobs, or whatever it is. Their children are the ones suffering at school too. They're being forced into things. Their wives are being forced into the job. They're just as much in this as we are. Of course, there's the assholes. There's the asshole in every group. But I am not going to label all police officers on
No,
the same.
me neither.
No, that's a mistake. That's a mistake to do that. And we need allies in the police force, and we need to, obviously, we need to rectify what happened through, through court process and due process. But and even when it was going down the day that everything happened, I saw some of the police, like the looks on their faces, they had no idea what they were getting themselves into. And they were like deer caught in the headlight. I mean, obviously we know the ones that didn't have a problem with it, but that's the reality of the situation. So James, June 10th, right?
Yeah, 9 o'clock.
That
I will let everybody know prior to. I'll make a poster. We'll keep that internal and we'll get that date out.
Yeah. All right.
So there's lots of stuff to do prior to then to be well prepared.
That's great.
And I could not say enough thank yous to everybody that is part of the Stand4Thee group. This is an amazing, amazing group.
Thank you. Well, we're so happy that you were successful in getting a jury. This is amazing. This is great. And so proud of anyone who goes into the courts to do self-representation and has success, because I'll speak for myself. It is the most empowering thing you can do.
It is definitely different. That's for sure. I'm adding up how much money I've saved alone.
Oh my
between
God.
Representing myself and also with Sandy. Holy Moses, probably 10 grand.
Yes,
7,500 at least. 7,500 at least right now.
Yeah, easy.
So I'm just going to reiterate everything, guys. When you're dealing with the police, don't judge them by their uniform, judge them by their actions. Always give the police the respect they earn. The respect you give them is theirs to lose, and let them lose it. Give it to them and let them lose it. Always give it to them first, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, everybody I worked with in Ottawa, in Ontario, all the police there, first class.
Yeah.
Never had any issues.
They were very positive, like all of them. Like when you walked up Wellington, anyone were in attendance. They were caught up in the spirit of it. That's what I saw. I didn't see any attitudes like, these stinky protesters. I saw quite the contrary.
Yes.
They were very, very impressed. And one time I was walking up beside the Union Station there, the old train station, and there was a fence, and it was a woman police officer on the other side, and then she bends over and gets my attention. She says, be very careful there, it's very slippery. I go, oh, thank you. And she's like, I'm glad to help you. That was really good. And no, she's not the only one, but that one, she was there. She wasn't there with an attitude of we're going to control everybody and all that. They were there in service.
Yeah.
When can we start sharing the court stuff?
What stuff? Like what's court stuff?
Well, things that are going on. Like, I mean, we're talking about this on here on Zoom, but any documents and stuff like that, anything that we can share to the public.
Yeah.
Well, we're working on some stuff, and Janice has a good pamphlet. She got it. Are you still on, Janice?
Yeah, she's here somewhere.
If she can put that in the chat, that was a good document.
We actually have a section. We actually have a section on the site now that is for self-representation, and it's pretty high level, and we'll develop it further as we go. But right now we have kind of the basic court procedures. We have some information there on etiquette, and hold on one second. There we go.
Dave's going to be able to do one on bail shortly. He's been digging in on that.
Yeah, and then I'm hoping that Janice, myself, and the three of us ladies can connect to see what she's got going on, because Jane was quite impressed with what Janice has put together, and we're going to build on it. Like it's it is. We worked on it for the meeting that we had last week, but we're going to build on it as we move along to make it more robust.
You guys are awesome. You know that? You really are. You're just
We
amazing.
tried.
I have a question.
We're trying to save this country.
I have a question. In my documents with the Crown, he's labeling this as unprecedented jury trial. What does the term unprecedented mean in this context?
It means never before happened.
So nobody has ever asked for a jury before?
Well, I think what we've missed out in this country, like it's there, but it's never been utilized, probably because the lawyers don't emphasize it.
Yeah.
But where your rights are concerned, and that you saw how mad the Crown got when I brought that up, eh? Like he was like,
he lost his freaking. Oh yeah, he didn't.
Smoke was coming out.
And then his immediate thing right after that was, "You need to get a lawyer, James." and this is over. Like he just cut it. He hung up on us.
I argued, like he tried to tell you that you can't have a jury until he decides how he's going to elect, whether it's going to be summary or indictable. So it's up to him.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, I would disagree with that, because this is an issue that is involving James's rights under the Canadian Bill of Rights. So he has the right to impartial tribunal, and a judge cannot provide that because they are not impartial. They're appointed by the government, paid for by the government, so they cannot properly adjudicate matters of our rights, because it's the government that's violated our rights. So he didn't like that, because there's no comeback for that.
So we get to choose. Do we get to choose the jury?
Now, somebody has said that that I don't know where it's at, but somebody said that there was some kind of a change they were trying to make where there's no more selection. It's just like randomly set up. But I can't see that, because that's been such an integral part of our jury process forever, that the Crown and the defendant select the jury members. But one thing
we should be looking into that prior to.
Yeah, and the other thing, even more important, is they shouldn't be able to get away with saying an entirely vax jury.
Yes.
Because
I'm going to need some help with that on the correct wordsmithing, because I think we need to make a letter to the Crown.
No, that would go right in your motion for dismissal.
Okay.
You can
motion
say
for dismissal. Okay.
Yeah, you can say in the alternative, you want a jury that is unbiased, and therefore you want an exemption from the entirely.
Can we share this exemption online?
Oh yeah, you can. Anything that you prepare, you can share.
Yes,
and you can
yes,
also talk.
Yes,
you can also talk about stuff. You just can't videotape it or whatever, but you can talk about it.
Okay.
You can talk about what happened in your judicial pretrial or whatever, what's going on. There's no publication ban, and it's an open trial. We're entitled to, in the Bill of Rights, it says a fair, open trial.
Yeah. No,
so all of your information there can be shared, any documents or anything like that. They try to say when they give you disclosure that it's their material and that you're not allowed to share it, but you can still discuss it. You just can't give it, physically give it away to somebody.
Okay.
But you can talk about it. You can say whatever's in it and stuff like that. They can't stop you from doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like tonight, I read off of your information, and that's perfectly legitimate.
So James, you let us know what you need, and we'll help you out any way that we can.
Well,
and I'm super excited for you.
I'm still stunned and numb a little bit. I don't get it that this is unprecedented. To me, it's these charges are just total crack, and I believe in the law, and I believe in full confidence that if you're guilty, then you should be worried, and I'm not worried at all.
No, exactly. That's exactly it. And I think I'm going to go back to Kimberly here.
But I need to stand corrected. I would be deeply worried, and I'd have a lawyer if it wasn't for you ladies. If it wasn't for you ladies, and for Dave, and for you folks,
or if you were guilty, or if you were guilty,
this too,
right?
Yes, actually, Kathleen has a comment. She said, James, tell them that these charges are unprecedented as well.
Yeah.
So you're right. It is unprecedented. So is charging an innocent man for choosing to express himself in a matter of public interest, freedom of speech, and assembly and association. So there you go. So it is unprecedented.
Yeah. It's weird how this is so weird. You know what's also weird about this, from my side of the fence, from my eyes, as I'm looking at the different charges that have been laid for the organizers, so to speak, that were involved, and that there's no similarity or commonality. There is to some degree, but you'd think that my charges would be the same as Tamara and the same as Pat and everybody. It should be all the same.
Yeah,
but it's not.
Well,
and that confuses me, and I don't understand why.
Because they were fishing for anything that they could. I mean, we saw in Pat's, they were digging up something that was like 8 years old.
Yeah.
So they were they trying anything they could think of because they had nothing. They know this is when you know that they don't have anything, is when they're doing ridiculous things that don't make sense. That's why. It's because they have nothing. So they're just like, let's throw it and see whatever we can catch out here. What sticks?
Kitchen sink.
Yeah.
So how come nobody else has went for jury?
Because nobody else has balls like you, James. That's
they will be.
Well,
it was a simple. Well, no, I mean, honestly, that had nothing to do with me. That was all Jane. That was all you, Jane.
Yeah. Well, Dave actually was really weird in his case. One day I was thinking, he should ask for a jury. And then I talked to him later on that day, and I didn't say anything to him about it. Like, he started talking and he said, you know what? I was thinking today I should go for a jury. I swear to God, on the same day. Like, it still freaks me out. Like, because it seems like it's like nee. Like, why would two people have the same fucking thought the same day?
Yeah.
And then because he went for it, then we did all the research to support the cause for it, and then we can just transfer that over to you. Like, that's what you got the advantage of, me being able to argue for it with the Crown, because we did all the background for Dave's case, so it just transfers over to you. So that's another good thing about what's going on with this self-representation. We're passing the information on to each other. And we find little nuggets and little, like Amanda found what is it in the what do you call it? The
Provincial Offences Act?
Yeah, that was 3 bracket 3.
Section 3, subsection 3 of the Provincial Offences Act. If you're being charged under the Provincial Offences Act, they have to notify you of the summons with a personal. They have to serve you with this personal summons on your person, not to someone else, but on your person within 30 days of the alleged offense when the alleged offense occurred.
Yeah, and for criminal, I looked it up after she found out. When I looked it up for criminal, and it's 6 months for criminal. So they didn't meet their criteria for Kimberly's case. So just on that basis alone, she can get it thrown out.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And lawyers will sit here and charge the teeth.
Oh yeah, God, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And won't even go down this path.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy that's in jail there now, they had a lawyer from Montreal, and he said, He'll take the case under one condition. You have to plead guilty immediately and give me $5,000
Unreal.
immediately, like before we pass go.
That lawyer needs to be reported.
Well,
Right, no. They told him to screw off. They didn't waste money on him. And the other lawyer they have seemed to be dragging his feet. So Dave and I spoke to him today, and I don't know if he was going to drag his feet, and he's not now, but apparently he's on it. He's on everything now, and he's going to get him out as he's going to get a bail review as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So I think it might be okay. And if it's not, we'll kick him to the curb and get the guy to do self-representation and use duty counsel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean, at the end of the day, the team that is behind Stand4Thee is for anybody not to consider using self-representation. And I'm a living, walking testimony of the success of what you folks have put together. And hats off to all of you.
Yeah, and it's a work in progress, and everybody's bringing things to the table.
One thing that Sandy is deeply pissed off about, she really wanted to have her trial and her jury and everything else, and she had the same charges as I did.
Yeah, she's like,
damn. They stayed the Crown. He says, I'm using my powers to stay the court or stay the charges against Sandra. Now, Sandy's pissed off. She says, well, she wanted to have her time or her chance, her day in court. But that being said, now what are the ramifications of having something on your record that's stayed? Like, what can Sandy do in order to get it completely done?
It won't stay on. It won't stay on there.
It doesn't want a conviction, so it doesn't exist on the record unless all it means is it sits around for a year. If they can find new evidence, then they can bring you back to court within a year. Otherwise, it's all over. It's as good as an acquittal.
Yeah.
But she wants a full acquittal on record, not stay.
Yeah, but it is a full acquittal at the end of the year.
How do we get?
And you can't.
How do we go from stay? How do we go from being a stayed
I explained
to?
That before. There's nothing in progress, so you can't do anything.
Really?
You can't appeal it because there's nothing in progress. Like if after a year they didn't make it disappear, then you could make a motion or whatever to like make it disappear. But in the meantime, they're not pursuing anything. There's no violation of your rights. There's no ground, like there's no cause of action because there's nothing going on.
So
it's just like frozen.
When we got arrested, they took our fingerprints. Now, neither one of us have criminal records. Now, there was a lady that was doing the fingerprinting, said that when it's over, you can have your fingerprints erased from the database.
Yeah.
Now, can Sandy do that right now? Because it's been stayed?
I don't think so.
Okay, so she's got to wait 1 full year. Okay.
Yeah.
All over what the Crown wants to do. So it's in his power.
Yeah.
To basically keep this over her for 1 year.
I can ask around if somebody else knows what could be done with stayed.
Yeah, like it doesn't make sense that he has the power to keep this over her for a year.
See, the problem is there's no trial date set, so everything is still with the Crown. So you can't make a motion to the court to do anything because it's up to the Crown. And the Crown's already made its decision. Like, you know what I mean? It's very, like, I don't see any way.
Right? Like we had the identical charges. Very screwed up. And Sandy is just as much an organizer as her hubby.
James, I have an idea on this one that I'm going to bounce off of Jane and Rebecca later, but I'm not going to do it on the public forum. I think just by saying that, Jane and Rebecca might have an idea of what I'm thinking of, but I'm going to bounce it off of them and we'll get back to you.
Okay. It's a request from Sandy. She couldn't make it here tonight, but it doesn't resonate very well having this over her for a year. It's in the Crown's hands.
She could possibly take him to small claims court and claim malicious prosecution.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's what I was thinking, but I was going to put it in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking
What's that mean? What's
in
that
order
mean?
to have the fingerprints destroyed.
No,
Yeah.
you can't do that while it's stayed. You'd have to get that stayed thing off there.
Okay.
And the small claims court can't even force them to do it. They could just give her like compensation for
Also,
having your
when
fingerprints.
if and when we decide to travel through customs and all the rest of that stuff, yeah, like I said, this doesn't resonate with either one of us.
Yeah.
Well, it's not fair. This isn't fair.
Yeah.
Like
so
if she's
the
acquitted, she's acquitted. If there's no criminal charges, then drop it. Done.
A stay is no criminal charges. There's no conviction.
Yeah. So I just the 1 year term really bugs me. It's like she got penalized.
Well,
She's
what you
innocent.
say is that there's listen, you can't just get it off of there. That's not going to happen. But you can make a small claims, like sue them, and say that this is damaging you. It's damaging your reputation for a year. It's impeding your travels, whatever.
Like you're talking doing a small claims.
Yes.
Oh, this is listen to you go.
Yeah. And I'm just finishing one right now.
Personal.
Yeah. So listen, we've got some other hands up, and it is 8:45, and I also wanted to talk about two things.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, James.
No, James, it's been great having you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you, obviously, you're in contact with Jane anytime, and you know that we're always here to support. We support anybody who's willing to take a stand and to help themselves. We are here to help, and that is what we do.
Yeah.
So thank you, James.
Thank you.
And you keep us posted on June 9th and 10th or 9th?
10th.
10th, good, because I have a court case on the 9th.
And we can help Sandra with her with small claims.
Yep, perfect.
You got to get all the paperwork as well. And there again, there's been no paperwork given to Sandy. No hard copies, nothing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we can say that that's negligence. Like he should know that there's no evidence there. Blah blah blah.
And on the same basis, if they're willing to do that to Sandy, then all the other organizers should be able to get dismissed. Makes no sense, right?
Well, like there's different charges and stuff, though.
But she had the same identical charges as I did.
I know as you did, but you're saying like all of the organizers. But anyways, we got to stop because
it blows my socks. Okay.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it that doesn't make any sense.
We'll finish all of these sentences. No question. Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Kathleen.
Okay, I have more of a legal question in terms of like a hypothetical question now. If like one of our rights and liberties from the Bill of Rights, I mean, they can be overridden if, according to Section 2 of the Canadian Bill of Rights, there is an act of Parliament that expressly declares that the right is to be like overridden.
Yes.
Now, I'm curious, what is the expressly like? Because for me, if like, for example, the Quebec Public Health Act says any act or law anywhere in Canada, so basically, is that expressly? It's not expressly mentioning the Bill of Rights.
I can explain that one.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's say they wanted to remove your right to religious freedom. They would have to say that they're introducing an act that's going to remove your right to religious freedom. They have to say it straight out. That's what they mean by expressly. Like with the COVID measures, they undermined several back most of our rights, but they did it implicitly, like shutting your gathering. That's your property. That's violation of your property, of your liberty, all kinds of stuff. But they didn't expressly say they're going to do that. They said they're going to like force you to wear masks and vaccine passport, whatever. They didn't say anything about your rights. And that's not proper. Under the Bill of Rights, it says if they're going to undermine your rights, they have to do it expressly, and it has to be through a full act of Parliament. So all through, 3 readings in the legislature and public consultation, and then the Senate, 3 readings in the Senate and voting each time. It's a fairly long process, and if they were ever to say something like that, we're going to eliminate your right to life or your right to freedom of speech, people are going to recognize and rally against that. So that's what makes it a very positive.
Has that right? Has in the history of Canada, has the Bill of Rights, any of our liberties from the Bill of Rights, ever been legitimately?
No.
No.
It's been changed twice since 1960. One was to remove, was to add the Emergencies Act, to replace the War Measures Act with the Emergencies Act, and the other one was to add the Statutory Instruments Act. So they didn't change the right. Yeah, they didn't.
They were both positive. Yeah, both positive, because the Emergency Act says they cannot violate the Canadian Bill of Rights, and the Statutory Instruments Act is something that is supposed to be applied to all laws, procedures, practices, or whatever of the government to make sure that the Bill of Rights are being respected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so that's a positive. Like, it's not a limiting. It was actually, bolstering up.
Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And
right,
now,
Kathleen, sorry.
Okay, I just have one more technical question, I suppose. If people who are being ultimately deemed guilty, if they don't pay their ticket, what happens if you just don't pay a ticket?
Well, it goes on the record, and you owe the money, and they could end up taking your driver's license.
Yeah. It's tied to your driver's license if you.
All right.
And then when you go to renew your license, you either have to pay it or you don't get your license.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, Kimberly.
Hello. It's just something else I just remembered that I read today. And it is, if it's found the charges against you are found to be vicious and vexatious, they can charge the person that laid the charges against you. Money, like a court sum for damages.
You mean like the court costs? Is that what you mean?
No, because the charges, my charges are vexatious and frivolous. Because of that, and they had made this go to court, that the court can actually have them charged because of that and award me a sum of money for doing it to me. Sorry, Rebecca.
Sorry, it's a noisy chip bag.
That's okay.
I'm not really familiar with that. Jane or Amanda? Amanda's on her phone. Jane, do you know? Do you have info on that?
Well, the only thing I would have known about is that there would be a tort, so you could sue them.
Yeah, this was saying that the Crown can actually award it.
Well, that's really good.
I know.
Where is that? Is that BC?
You should ask for that. You should ask for that.
No, it's under the criminal code.
Do you have it? Can you put it in the chat?
I've read so much shit today, sorry, but I will try to find it. I will send it to you.
Okay, and can you send me the one about the 12 months? I can't find it still.
I did send it to you. I sent you an email.
Oh, I didn't see it in my email. I can't see it.
I sent it in a reply of the email that you sent me.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I'll have when if I see that. If I don't see it, sorry, Kimberly, I'll let you know because I think that's an interesting one.
Yeah, I'll try to find it.
To Rebecca or to me?
No, I sent it to you. It was okay. So you sent me the link to the Mistress, whatever.
Yeah.
So I just replied to that and sent you the information in that.
Okay, because I don't see it.
Okay, well, I'll try to send it again then.
Okay, and send it to me too. Send it to me too. I'd like to see it.
Okay.
And Amanda. Well, send it to me. I'll get. Well, yeah, just send it to us.
I'll send it to you, and then you can give it to me.
Please, thank you. Awesome.
That's the one for the 12 months, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Bojana, hello.
Hello, my lovely
How is
Three Musketeers.
Poland?
Listen, guys, completely different world. You know, first of all, in a Poland, I mean, I've seen two other people. We were only three on the Pearson airport without no mask. Imagine when I got to the plane, Polish lot in Polish Airlines, nobody without mask except few, people who have new mutant, which is called I love mask. Anyhow, I landed and I couldn't believe my eyes. Thousands of people on the street, no distancing, nothing, no mask, nothing. Like people don't even remember that there was a COVID.
Yeah, wow.
I'm telling you, and my flight back was a little bit different. And then I had to make this rapid test, and they didn't put me into my nose. I said, "You're not putting anything." So they put it to my throat very delicately. So I was surprised. I didn't know that. Nobody, and in airport, nobody wears any mask. Nobody, I'm telling you, completely different world. But when I arrived here, welcome to Canada. Holy shit, man. I couldn't believe it. Right in a plane. The same people who were enjoying the 8 hours of flight from Warsaw to Toronto were sitting next to each other talking. All of this sudden the announcement. We landed in Toronto and here in Canada, obligation to wear the mask. All of them at the same time. Like I was like, what the fruit, Anyhow. I got 6,000
mind controlled. Complete. It's not even about a virus anymore. It's because they were told to do it, and you just sit down and do what you're told.
Yes, I was the only one walking from that plane without a mask. Okay, to the non-stop, nothing. I didn't even. Anyhow, I got $6,250 ticket. I'm good.
Yeah, and then you're going to go to court, and you know what? A girl today, a fellow who I was speaking yesterday with the exact same thing. He called me today. They dropped his charges. He went in the courtroom and they were gone.
Oh, okay. So listen, I become so I was so confident that the only one document they can ask me to enter Canada, it's my passport. Yeah.
Yep.
Don't forget, I flew from Toronto to Warsaw on Polish passport. Okay. Was it Polish? Yeah. And I came back I crossed the border with Polish passport. Okay. So, and funny enough, my Polish passport has a different name than my Canadian passport. I don't know. I was lost within myself, honestly. But the reason I'm calling, because I have a question. You remember, girls, when I told you we had a bunch of people going to Promenade Gatineau, and the police surrounded us and they arrest me? Okay. There was no ticket issue, nothing. And then 2 days, right now it's a month ago. By the end of April, I received a ticket, $1,500 whatever dollars for not wearing mask. Okay. And somebody told me, actually 2 people told me that since we have no mask mandates anymore, of course I sent this note guilty, but that's what I found. And somebody asked me to ask you girls if that would be applicable. Hold on, I'm trying to read. Okay.
Yeah.
This, oh shit, that's not the one. Sorry. Oh, I lost it. Oh no, it's here. Okay. This is actually Quebec, Section C12, Quebec of Human Rights and Freedoms. Okay.
Yeah.
And there is a section 37.2, where the punishment for an offense has been varied between the time of commission and the time of sentencing. The accused person has a right to the lesser punishment.
Yeah.
Okay, so my question is, like, since we have no mask mandates and we said no guilty, are we still going to go to court?
I don't know what the question is.
Are you saying because there's no mask mandate now, can they still go ahead with the ticket? Is that the question?
Yes, because if the mandate doesn't exist, the law doesn't exist at this current time, can they go retroactive to the past time?
So, but you were charged when it existed, right?
No, that happened on the 13th of November 2021, and only about 15th of April I received the ticket. So I sent them.
Hold on, November of 2021 and the 15th of April of what, 2022?
Yes.
But your offense, but you were charged for when it was already occurred, like the law was there. The mandate, the law, the bylaw, whatever it was, existed. So you were getting ticketed for an offense that took place like 6 months prior.
Yeah, no, we have November, December, January, February,
Right.
March.
So
April.
then,
Yeah.
So then you were being charged for when this bylaw was in place. So yes, it could go through, but you've got the Bill of Rights, so it's going to get dropped.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what I said.
I have to back that up. It's most likely going to be dropped.
Okay, now finally I can breathe, because there is at least a few of us who received this. Like I am I'm standing still, like I'm like, okay, now I have 9,000, and I keep saying to myself, oh, 9,000 doesn't even compare to Rebecca's 40,000. So
26,000. It's 26,000. Yeah, but again, it's the Bill of Rights, and like the guy that I actually took 4 phone calls of folks yesterday about quarantine. And then he called me today, and he messaged me. He's like, it's gone. It was dropped. Sarah Shajulian had hers dropped before she even went to court. The girl Liz in BC, she went into court. They messed around with her for a little bit, and then it got dropped. So I don't know anyone who's fought it, who actually had to pay the fine.
Except Pat King.
Yeah.
If you're not guilty, don't plead guilty. Anyone here who's got a ticket, you're not guilty. If it's, these quarantine and these ridiculous bylaws forcing you into a medical procedure that doesn't even work, you're not guilty of anything. Remember that. So you go in there with the attitude, I'm not guilty. You're guilty. You're guilty for breaking the law. You're guilty for violating my rights, and I'm going to hold you accountable.
Well, I don't know, Rebecca. I'm going to say that they're guilty of critical thinking and using their brains.
Well, I mean, some people just don't know, right? And this is the thing, Amanda. I wouldn't have known if it wasn't for all of this. I would have given all my power to a lawyer too.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I met Jane and I met you, Amanda, and now I know better. And then there are people that are incapable of critical thinking. But those people are not getting tickets for quarantine, and they're not getting tickets for not wearing masks because they comply.
Yeah. Yeah. And to wrap this up, I got this ticket, and week after I got a ticket for the thing that happened in October when I was escorted by 6 policemen from a city hall. So I got 2 tickets for not wearing mask.
Yeah.
And remember I was saying, okay, I was like sitting, blah blah blah. But anyhow, I'm gonna deal with these girls.
Yeah. Well, listen, you submit that, and then the script is on our site. If you even get a court date, I'm still waiting for mine. It's been 7 months, and I like not a peep.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And I've got my summons on June 9th, which I'm excited for, because it's better to get a summons because you go through faster, and I'm looking forward to going to court.
I bet you I'm just about at the 18-month point on my ticket. I had an $800 ticket. The 880. The 880 club. Yeah, the 880 club.
All right. So, Bojana,
last
number one, because I I'll be
Yeah,
going back to Ottawa.
that's it. Like, and I'm okay. I'm very grateful also, that first of all, I met James in person, and I was working with the Bernhards, and I'm very, very grateful for you girls, to the point that even in Poland, instead of enjoying my vacation, I was coming home and I was checking, okay, what is the Zoom? What is the Zoom? Like, oh shit, 6 hours difference. I'm addicted to the freedom fighters.
Wow.
Anyway, ciao everybody.
Thank you, Bojana.
Thank you. Love you guys.
So is Rebecca. She goes to Mexico, beautiful weather and sunshine and all that, and she can't let go of what's going on.
Hey, did you notice her color starting to darken again?
Yeah.
You know what? That's just from walking. I went for a big walk, and my husband and I go for walks in the morning. And then, yeah. And it's also dark in the room, so it makes me look darker. So before we wrap up, I wanted to share 2 things with you guys. Number 1, the injunction has been successfully submitted to the courts. We had some adjustments to make. We had further legal consultation, and we replaced the old one with the new one on the site so you can see what it looks like. And it went out, and it looks like we should be rocking and rolling relatively soon, I would hope. And what I'm talking about, because someone had asked earlier, and I didn't want to forget about it. It's the injunction to stop the vehicle exclusion zone in Ottawa that they implemented for not just the biker rally, but they have intentions of keeping that on permanently. So that was filed. And then I saw V was here. I don't know if V was patient enough to stick around. No, V was not. He was in his car. So we had a win this week. We've had a lot of wins this week, actually. This week has been fantastic, and it's because we're winning. We are winning. But here's a good one for you. So as some of you may know, I didn't deliberately get arrested, but I refused to back down from the Peterborough Protection Services. Oh, excuse me, Parliamentary Protection Services. Sorry, guys. I always slip on that one. Whoopsies. Right? And for anyone who's sensitive here, I had an FUCK Trudeau sign. And while everyone is entitled to say
no asterisks.
No asterisk. It was full on. It was the word. And actually, I meant to put an asterisk for the U, and then I forgot. And then I literally went, F it. I'm going on the hill with the full word, because I live in Canada, and I have the Canadian Bill of Rights, and I have the right to freedom of speech. So I went on the hill, and I knew it was going to be a showdown. I really did not think I was going to get arrested. I really didn't think they were going to do it. I was talking to Amanda. I was like, Amanda, they got nothing. They got nothing. Next thing I was like, oh shit, I'm being handcuffed. And so anyway,
and I hear a fading voice from the phone.
And then our friend V, whom I think a lot of you know, went to Parliament Hill on this past Sunday. So I got arrested not this past weekend, but the weekend before. So that, I don't know my dates. It was the weekend after the biker rally. I'll tell you that. Because I was very irritated at the biker rally when they were telling people, you can't come on the hill for this and this and this, acting like it was their own personal nightclub. Well, and then they kept telling everyone it was private land. It was like, just stop with this
bullshit.
May
7th or 8th.
Yeah, something like, exactly. I think it was the 8th. It was
Sunday. The Sunday.
Oh yeah, it was the 8th. It was the 8th, yeah. And then anyway, so V went back this past Sunday, and V was like, you know what? I'm going to go there with my F Trudeau sign, and I'm going to see what happens. And he's like, I'll get arrested. Like, we have to do this. This is how you create change. Because you go, all right, I'm going to stand my ground, and I'm going to say, no, I'm not going to put the sign away. And no, I'm not leaving the hill, because I have freedom of speech, period. And it's without conditions. It doesn't mean I need a permit. It doesn't mean I need to limit myself to a particular vocabulary. I'm going to say whatever I want. And if it offends you, I don't care, because it's not, who offends whom is a very subjective thing. And when we start saying you can say this, but not that, and this, but that, not that, then where does it end and where does it begin? Freedom of speech is freedom of speech. And here's the thing. So I had a lesbian friend many, many years ago, and she was a really smart girl, and she was very open-minded, much more than I was. And I was living in Calgary at the time, and there was a hate group that actually, it was when they passed same-sex marriage. It was like 19 something. Okay, it was 19 something, 1990 something. Like, I don't know, don't even remember. And I was very upset about it. Like, I was bent out of shape about this thing, and I was like, they shouldn't be allowed to be here. They shouldn't be allowed to say these things. They shouldn't, they shouldn't. And she said, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Here's the thing. If you are not aware, if you don't allow free speech, and if you don't allow people to express themselves in any fashion, then number one, you don't know the problem is there, because they'll go underground where it will fester and you can't deal with it. And I was like, that is such a good point. And trust me, it has stuck with me. And this is the thing. And it's even with Nazi flags and Nazi groups and white supremacists. We don't want them here. We don't like them. We don't condone that. The thing is that if they're hiding, you don't know it's there. So you can't have dialogue. You can't address it. You can't deal with it, because it's happening in the shadows. When you allow freedom of speech, that's when you can see what's happening, and you can see the discord, and you can see the badness, I'll call it, but it allows you to have dialogue, open dialogue and discussion. And so from that moment on, when she said that to me, I've had a whole different position on it. So what happened on Sunday? V went back to the Parliament Hill, and the PPS, get his F Trudeau sign, and they said, oh, wait, there's more. Hold on a second. On the following Tuesday, after being arrested, like literally like a criminal, frisked on the street, they did that to embarrass me. But I was like, you're not embarrassing me, you're embarrassing yourselves. So they did all of these things to try and intimidate me and embarrass me, and they don't know Rebecca Mofo Shepherd. I'm just gonna say that. Anyway, so on Tuesday I went back, and I served one of his the guy's name is JC Boudreau, the guy who actually assaulted me, and he also gave me a trespass ban for the Hill. I served one of his colleagues a notice of liability for small claims action of $35,000, which was ripped into pieces, but I'm sure they pieced it together and read it, because when V went back to the Hill the following Sunday, they said, new policy, you can say whatever you want on the Hill. So there you go, guys. There you go. I'm going to take that as a win. I'm going to say, hell yeah, we got this. I've got folks keeping an eye on it, because, my trust level of these folks is very low. I've got my NOL ready anytime. One of the conditions was that they ended that they stopped the ban within 7 days, which they did. I've also asked for a public apology in the Ottawa Citizen and the Ottawa, I think it's Sun. So I'm waiting for that. And then, yes, T-shirts, exactly, Bojana, T-shirts, and also taking your amplified sound on the Hill, because they were saying it was private, and I was like, guys, just stop with this nonsense. So that's another win for us, guys, and that's what we do. We stand up for our rights, and we do things that are a little bit uncomfortable. I certainly didn't want to be handcuffed. I didn't want to be put into a car. I didn't want my bag seized, my property searched, and my body frisked on the street like a loser. Not a loser, a champion. But, they want you to feel that way. And they did those things to make me uncomfortable and to make me cave. And I was like, I had a big lecture with them and said, they're coming for your jobs too. They don't care about you. They're going to take your pension. They're going to take your jobs. And if you don't stand up now, that's going to be reality. And I just let them have it. And so there you go. That is what happened. So there you go, guys. We stood up. I wasn't alone. There was folks with me there that day. And at the end of the day, V was allowed on the Hill with an offensive sign, an obscene sign that not everyone likes. And there you go. So yay. I'll say yay. A little victory.
One thing we haven't discussed for a while is the police standing down on shutting our gatherings and the stay-at-home orders. I saw it again today in the POA. In the lockstep, they said it's going to start with a pandemic, and then the government's going to overreach, And then when the pandemic's gone, the government will continue in its overreach place, like martial law. And when I was looking at the legislation today, like, OA stuff, it had that full agenda, except the police never took on the martial law part. So now they have nothing. They have nothing. Like, it was supposed to be a transitional thing. That's why they withdrew, the measures, right? But then it was supposed to have been a process where they advanced the police power through that process. But the police went, fuck you, Trudeau. We're not doing it.
Yeah.
And they're still taking that stance. And I believe they're taking that stance with the Senate committee. No, we didn't ask for that. We didn't ask for that.
Oh gosh.
See, that kills it. That kills it. They're on our side. Our police are on our side, and our military is on our side. And we're not communist until they can legally flip the police and military against the citizens. So we're winning. We're winning, everybody. 100%. We're winning. There's evidence, proof in the pudding. And I think that the Senate and the MPs are also getting on to the fact that their pensions are going to be flipped into this universal package of basic income, because the senator that introduced it, Pate, is her name? Senator Pate?
Yeah, Pate.
Pate, she
Kim Pate.
In her letter of explanation to Liz, it says it's for employment, for unemployment, like income for unemployment, for disability, and for retirement. It didn't say old age pension. It said for retirement. So that's a catch-all, because that would be all of the pensions. So it would be the MPs, the senators, the bureaucrats, and the police, and the military. And I think our letter campaign made them click into it. And that's why that other senator there, what's her name? Paula Simons, or whatever it is. That's why she was flipping, because she was in the inner little commie circle, and they're surrounded now.
Yeah.
And they're getting their eyes pecked out. And Trudeau's telling them to fuck off right in the house. Like, he's losing it.
Yeah, he's lost it. And also the flip side of that too is that the letters that we have sent to these MPs has given them a voice.
Yes. That's the other part of it. Yes.
Yes. They see now, because this is the thing with politicians that we have to understand. They actually might be on our side, but they're afraid to speak up because they think their constituencies want the mask, they want the social distance, they want the vaccine. They think that that's what people want, because that's what these guys see on TV and mainstream media. And then by getting these letters, that actually empowered them for them to realize that is not at all what we want.
Absolutely.
That is not what we want. So
I actually want to expand on that. You also have to remember, a lot of these MPs, they were educated in the school system that we were. They watch the same media that we do. They're programmed the same way we are. Until you disrupt that cognitive dissonance, they may not realize what they're doing is wrong.
Yeah. And I think our letter did, like, because we were asking, are you a member of the World Economic Forum? Do you support the UN Agenda 2030? Blah blah, all that stuff. So I think it made them start to pay attention. Yeah. And the universal, and we talked and explained what it means to put standards, and then how the process would be. The Prime Minister would set the standards based on consultation with his own damn ministers only, not with the democratic process.
Yeah.
And that's health and social development on my old age pension. Fuck you. I'll take care of my own health. Thank you very much. And that's my pension. I'll tell you what conditions that are going to be on it. You don't tell me.
Yeah.
And I mean me, like, not just me, but me as in a member of the public. The public will tell the government what conditions there will be on any income maintenance programs. They don't tell us, we tell them. They're still servants. This is still a democracy. And it's still the will of the people that prevails. We are the sovereign, not them. We are. And we developed that over many centuries, getting away from the monarchy and then getting away from the tyrannical government structure. And we got this structure, and I'm hanging on to it. And it's working. It's working for us because we're working it.
Yeah.
And there's more people every day joining on and loving it too.
Yeah. Yeah. Kimberly, you got your hand up, and then we're going to sign off for the night.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just remembered something.
Yeah.
The royal family is here, and
They are?
in New Brunswick, apparently there was a whole pile of people that welcomed them and told them where to go because they're not wearing no mask, and they didn't have to quarantine for 14 friggin' days. They can come and go as they please. They weren't received very well.
Well, look at Trudeau and Jagmeet. Like, it's so bad that they can't even campaign. And I watched Jagmeet. People are like, literally, fuck you at the window, and he's inside waving like nothing's going on. And the person has the finger in his face, and he's still waving. It's like, there comes a time when you just stop. Stop. Just stop pretending that the world doesn't hate you. It's like, it's embarrassing.
It's over. It's over.
It's over. It is.
They've been shot. They're bleeding. They're falling down.
They're man down. They're man down.
But now they know that this shit isn't working. Now they're trying to say that there's a monkeypox going on.
Yeah. And everyone's already mocking it. Everyone's like, oh God, we knew this was coming. And the ones that believe it are such a small number. Go get your vaccines. Knock yourself out. I'm not gonna we don't even bother trying to wake people up. We don't need to. There's enough of us. We can do this on our own. We can do this. We are doing this.
Yeah, it's working too. It's working. I can feel it and see it every day.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is a great call. Again, apologies for being a little bit late. I completely forgot about the time change. And everyone here who's doing self-representation, you guys are awesome. You know that we're here to support, so reach out anytime. And Jane and Amanda, how do we wrap this night up? We say,
hashtag we got this.
All right, thank you, everyone. And tomorrow night we have our weekly Friday night Zoom at 8 o'clock. So hopefully we'll see you then as well. And thanks, everyone. Hashtag we got this, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, ladies.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you.
The recording has stopped.
Good night.